Hey there, hi there, ho there. So I have had a lot of questions about maintenance on the road. So I have some tips and tricks for maintenance on the road. First thing right off the top, maintenance on the road, is you don't ever want to lose any parts, any little nuts, bolts, washers, things like that you've taken off the bike to do the repair. So if you have room for one of those little magnetic bowls, that is awesome. Barring that, have a little Ziploc bag extra that you can put the little parts into so that you don't lose any on the way. What do you need to bring with you? What do you need as spare parts? The first thing that I suggest is that you do a little bit of research on your particular motorcycle and the generation model that you have, and find out what are the common breakdown points. Does it tend to snap clutch cables? Does it tend to get a leak in the reservoir for the brake? What does it tend to do that, like a VFR 800, it eats up RRs and stators. So a lot of VFR 800 riders used to carry around spare stators and RRs. So figure out what your bike needs that you might need on the road. If you're a road warrior and you're out there for a long time, you might want to carry a spare chain. However, if you carry a spare chain, make sure that you remember to bring that chain brake tool. Spare chain isn't going to do you a ton of good if you don't have the chain brake tool, right? Speaking of chains, always have a second master link spare. The chain should come with one, but get a spare one just in case, because if you press that rivet on the master link too hard and it cracks, that's going to be an easy point of failure. You do not want to use that one. You want to replace it right away, put a fresh master link in. Don't ask me. Been there, done that. Just take my advice. It doesn't take up any space. Carry a spare master link if you're going to carry a spare chain. Some other things to consider. What shop supplies do you need? Do you need, for example, some brake cleaner if you're going to do brake jobs on the road? You need to carry brake cleaner for that. Shop towels. Are you just going to buy a roll of shop towels at the shop when you're working on the bike and then leave the rest for somebody else? Do you have room? Are you going to carry some shop towels, or are you just going to take some off the roll and fold them up and bring them with you? So think about what kind of shop supplies are you going to need to carry with you in case of emergency or for the routine maintenance that you plan to do on the road. Tools. When you decide what spare parts you want to bring with you, make sure that you have the appropriate matching tool. If you bring a brake lever and you don't have a 16 millimeter wrench to take that mirror off on that Tiger, you're out of luck. You can't change your brake lever because you don't have the 16 millimeter wrench, or an adjustable wrench maybe, but you need some kind of wrench to take that 16 millimeter bolt out and remove the mirror to change out the brake lever on a Tiger. So think about what tools do you need to go with the spare parts that you carry with you. Just a side note, I prefer motorcycles with a chain, because if a chain snaps or if a chain gets worn out, it's easy as pie to find some place. Yeah, you might have to sit for a day or two while they order it, but you can get chains all day long, all over the country, anywhere. So it's not a big deal, especially if you plan ahead. It's no big deal to get a chain, but if you're on a shaft drive and it screws the pooch and gives up the day, you're stuck for at least a week waiting on parts for that shaft drive. So yeah, it's a lot more maintenance. You got to oil it at regular intervals and things like that. You got to keep it clean. So yes, there is a lot more maintenance involved with a chain than with a shaft drive. But, you know, I'm the one, if something fails, I don't want to sit around for a week. Just my 2 cents on chain or shaft drive. Also, consider how far from home you're going to be traveling. If you're not traveling far from home, if you're relatively close, do you need to take any spare parts with you at all? You know, can you just get the bike towed home? or towed to some place that you can come trailer it and get it later. So think about, do you need to take any spare parts with you at all? If you're going a great distance, then you definitely need to take some spare parts with you. But are the parts that tend to break down ubiquitous? Can you find them everywhere? Does every dealer tend to carry those spare parts? Or is that a special order part that you won't find at any dealer all over the country? That's another consideration. Do you want to carry spare parts that you can get readily available at any dealership or parts store? I don't carry brake pads with me. Why? I can get spare brake pads anywhere. So think about those kinds of things. If you're going to be riding in remote areas, definitely carry spare levers. Levers break all the time when you're in the off-road mode, so definitely carry a spare set of levers. That's just goes without saying, spare levers. One thing you might want to consider having spare is a key. A lot of people don't think about having a spare key, but trust me. Okay, no, I don't want to tell you how I know. Just trust me. I know. It's good to have a spare key. Well, okay, I'm going to tell on a girlfriend of mine. She put her key in her back pocket and then went to go to the bathroom. Yeah, you guessed it. That key went right down into the toilet and it was gone before she knew it. So she was stuck up in the mountains waiting on somebody to bring her spare key. So always have a spare key with you somewhere that's accessible on the bike. If you have it in your jacket, if you have it in your tank bag, if you have it in a hydration pack, have it somewhere else on your body or with you that it's not going to get found so that somebody can steal your bike, but so that you have access to it if you need it. So those are some of the tips and tricks for maintenance on the road and what I think you should bring with you on the road for maintenance on the go and oops on the road. If you want to know more about what I bring as regular tools in my Ooops Kit, there's another video. I'm going to put the link to that video down in the description. It's my Ooops Kit video, essentials, tools that everybody should have, like, duct tape and some oil, and anyway, you get it. But I have 50 items that I keep in my Ooops Kit that I take on the road. And no, it does not take a lot of space. It fits into a small men's shaving kit. So watch that video if you want to know what I suggest you bring with you on a road trip. So I think that's about it. So please, by all means, hit like, subscribe, hit that little bell icon when you see it so that you know when the next video drops. And just get out there and have your own adventure.